Board games, board games. I might be talking about some board games, but I'm not gonna shout. Really, I'm talking more about the art of the game form that is known as the LARP. Because I went to a LARP festival last weekend and I met people and hopefully new friends. Board games and LARPs, it's what I'm talking about. LARPs and the smoke in London, that's what I'm talking about. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. Oh my god, my voice is kind of gone. I wasn't quite expecting that. But it is 10 a.m. ish. It's time for Busy Beats and Board Game Bladder, 10 a.m. UK time, I should say. And the topic for today is how was the Smoke 2022? And the answer is it's brilliant. I'm not here to do clickbait. I'm not here to have the curiosity gap. I'm telling you my conclusion right now. It was brilliant. I enjoyed the games. I enjoyed meeting the people. I enjoyed playing board games. The food was good. I was well fed. There was plenty of food. It was really really good, and I managed to do my first solo LARP, by which I mean I created that. I wrote that, and sure I had people helping me, Lolvi, Chloe Masheter, Mike from my stream, Alex from the stream, Alexandros, Alexiou from the convention. He gave me advice, but it was me doing all the writing and all these things. I was so really proud of that. But I just had so much fun. It's always good to be there. Mo and Laura have done a fantastic job. So much love to them. And I'm not super familiar with Cole and Rebel, I have to say. Like, what is super familiar? That old question. Do you know this person? Not as well as I would like. I mean, I met Rebel on Friday and then chatted a bit more on the Saturday and Sunday, and then on Sunday evening goes, "Oh wow, you're the new organizer! Congratulations! Can I give you a hug?" Because and touching was an interesting one because at board game conventions, I'm all about the elbows and then the ankles and then the jazz hands. But at this festival, I did hug a few times, and we'll see how that goes in terms of viral spreading. Anyway, let's look when I talk about my recent events, highlights, achievements. Obviously, yeah, Sunday, I managed to run around the place and hand out stuff, and I felt like I was doing useful stuff. I was helping people. I was a volunteer. My experience as a volunteer, I just want to say, is that I wasn't. I did make myself a floating LARPer for the last two slots, so 2 out of 4. One I was running a game in, one I was running a game in, one I was had a game that I really wanted to play. The other two, I was ready to just play whatever needed people because that felt like something that I could help with. Because there's often LARPs that need a certain number of people. They might need like 7 people, and only 3 people sign up, which is obviously terrible. And I didn't do loads of work, I don't feel like, but each day there was like maybe an hour or a couple of hours where I was just around and I had, yeah, giving people advice, saying, oh, yeah, that's where you want to be, and showing them directions, or saying, okay, you need food being brought up, okay, let's go down together. Hey, and wrangling a few extra people. People are quite often happy to help a wee bit. And like just stomping on boxes, decompressing them, making sure they're in the bins, making sure to tidy up stuff a wee bit. And yeah, like, no one has to do everything. We all do a little bit, and that's lovely. It's just so affirming. And I want to talk about a brilliant thing. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Yesterday, I didn't talk about 3D by which I mean just the fact that my hand, yeah, I can bring it closer, move it not just up, down, and left and right, but also there's this other 3D aspect. We can have like things going through things, and not just around, but actually through. I mean, yeah, look, you can make holes and stuff, and you can rip paper, and yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. But just one of the LARPs that I played, it was just a reminder of the brilliance and beauty in everything. But yeah, just generally, the smoke is brilliant. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, then please ask them. That's why I do my streams, to, yeah, speak out loud, but also to have hopefully a wee bit of a conversation. So I'm going to take you for my photos. This is Friday night. Friday night, lovely people chatting. There's Sandy. I'm so sorry, Sandy, that I forgot you. And then I see this photo and I'm like, oh yeah, that is Sandy. And Alexandros, no, that's not Alexandros, that's Alessandro, who ran 4-3, 4-3, a game about football. I'll get into that in a minute. Alex remembered me from like 10 years ago. And I'm like, wow, you remembered me. I'll try really hard to remember you, Alex. I will try really, really hard. I promise. And thank you for forgiving me. Alex and Ewan on the right, and Joost on the left. Um, this was again on Friday. We were just chatting, and there were really nice conversations. And Joost said, hey, you wanted to play Scout. Anytime you wanted to play Scout, let me know. And so I was like, you know what? Let's play it. And then Alex and Ewan joined us, and we went over to play Scout. This is a Spiel des Jahres nomination, so it could be the best game of 2022. It's in the top 3, according to the German jury, which is a really big achievement. In this game, you're putting down cards. Each time you put down cards, it can be a group. So you could put down like a whole bunch of 2s, or you could put down a run, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or indeed 5, 6, 7, 8. You could also put down just 1 card. But the thing is, the number of cards you need to put down has to be more than than is already on the table. So if there's 4 cards on the table, you need to put down 5 cards, or they need to be a higher rank. But like, yeah, generally you want to put down more cards, or like it needs to beat the previous offering. You can go from run to a set beats run, more cards beats fewer cards, and it keeps going around the table until someone cannot or does not wish to play. And you take one of the cards that remains on the table, and then the next person might take one of them, and so forth. And then as more and more cards are removed, eventually there will be less cards remaining, and boom, now you can start playing cards again. Each time you beat it, you get those cards that were on the table as your points. Each time when you get to the end, any cards remaining in your hand are negative points. And each time one of your cards gets scouted, it's a positive point for the person who played that card. But here's the twist. You can only choose cards that are adjacent to each other in your hand. You can never change the order. The only way to change the order is either by removing a card by playing it, and then 2 cards, if I've got a 4 and a 4, and then this is a 10 or something, I might play the 10, and now I've got a group of 2 4s, boom. That's one way to do it. The other way is when you're scouting, you take the card and you can put it anywhere. So there's a good amount to think about. There's an interesting interplay between everything. I can definitely understand why they feel like this might be one of the best games. And here, like, I've got the 6, 7, 8. That's a really good hand. I've got the 3, 4, 3, 5, 4. I mean, but it has to be a run in your hand. So there is a good amount of luck. There was food. There was like this vegetarian sushi. This was the most amazing hand ever. 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. That's amazing, right? And then I won on 35 points. It was good fun. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of top 10, but that's just a style of game. All of them are, oops, really glad. I do apologize for popping that up. Alexandros, lovely person, gave me feedback on my LARP. Really helped me. Having Yeah, good time. So here is my LARP. As it's playing, we've got a whole bunch of people playing different Dungeons and Dragons characters. The fighter, the bard, the rogue, the mayor, the dragon who's just been unfairly attacked, the beholder, the introvert who's anxious and isn't covered in loads of eyes, they just have lots of bees. And then there's the big black dog, for those who don't know, an allusion to depression. But then the big black dog just wants to be friends. And you can doesn't quite work the moving around. But I think that people had a good time with this LARP. Um, and I was really happy with how it ran. Then afterwards, with Alice, um, Steph, and Oliver, we played Beautiful Beings. We were humans, so we were going to join the game after a couple of hours. So this was really interesting for a LARP where one group was playing for 4 hours, another group was just joining later on. And we were joining when it was in situ. Like these creatures have had evolved their language, and meanwhile we were just actual humans. We played One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and I took this photo. Like they were okay with me taking the photo, but I'm sure I asked them if they were happy for me to take photos, but I don't know if they know that this photo was taken. And then the beautiful beings during the game, we like drawings were being done. The creatures, the players playing creatures, were trying to translate the 3D nature of the world into these two-dimensional black and white drawings. But then us, the humans, we were told, okay, now it's time to come in. Please move very slowly. The creatures can be easily startled, and please do not speak. Try to make very little noise, and remember, move slowly. You might be able to learn their language. And then we had a warm up where we were moving our hands and staring at each other. It was a lovely way to change our state of being. It felt like we were moved, like one of the creatures just had this unbridled expression of joy at, whoa, I can move my hand. Oh, I can move my body. This is amazing. Because the idea was that they were little two-dimensional creatures that had teleported themselves into humanoid characters. So like this body was now a new thing for it. It was just delightful and it was gorgeous. And it was an affirmation of saying, hey, we don't normally think about color or 3D stuff, but especially 3D stuff, the act of being human, it is brilliant. Just take some joy in it. And it was just wonderful, like having the shadows translate, and I don't know if you can see, but there's lots of drawings, outlines of hands here and faces. You can see one with a, and it was kind of sketching around the shadow really quickly, one of the creatures was. And then in the evening, we went back to some board games, myself and Yost, Tiki Topple, a lovely game. And then Lutska joined us, um, and Camille, and we played this game. And Alex joined us. We stuffed some balloons. We managed to win on our fifth game, which felt quite good. And then Sunday again, I was trying to wear dark colours. So on Saturday, I had a burgundy top and a black skirt. On Sunday, I had burgundy leggings, grey skirt, and yes, it was a red top, but I had a black semi-transparent mesh top that made it a bit darker. So here we are, getting ready for the epic football match as we get ready to play for free from Alessandro. Alessandro, an Italian. Apparently, the title was all about this epic mythical match where in the last 10 minutes, it was like boom, 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 boom. It's like the first 80 minutes, there weren't many, if any, goals scored. And I can't remember, it was like a semi-final of the World Cup in Mexico, Italy, and someone else. I'm sorry, I don't really know my football, but we played. Well, let me leave it on this for a moment. So we played players. Most of the game was played in the locker room through the, oh, your dad is coming to visit you for the first time. They are coming to actually watch one of your matches. This is the player who's potentially going to move away. This is the player who's come from the rival team and now they're coming to join us. Hey, this is the player who's um, struggling with things and is maybe going to retire, and we're really sad about that. This is a player who likes to cheat, and that's not great. But then, so like we had, I think, about 1 hour of talking in the locker room. We had about 20 minutes of actually playing the football game. It was maybe more than an hour of talking in the locker room. But then the football matches, there was one commentator who was talking through everything. There was the coach who was ringing the bell and getting people to pass the ball. So we were throwing the ball. It wasn't like we were actually playing football. We were just throwing the ball to each other and acting and celebrating the goal scored. And when the other team scored a goal. There, and of course, the commentator, when people came off the pitch, would put the microphone in their face and say, "Oh, what did you think of this?" And then there were the supporters, and the supporters. It was a really interesting mechanism. You're allowed to make noises, but if you want to speak, then you have to agree with the other supporter. So then that turned into really short phrases like football chants, like "The smoker's gonna smoke you. Come on, we can do it. Come on, we can do it." And it's like these football chants that just, it really felt like it gives you a sense of the glory of football. Then I saw Rebel, who was all dressed up for their, I think it's called Sanctum. This is a LARP that it's actually a professional LARP where people pay and then there's a small profit that goes into the three people. So Rebel is, I understand, like the manager and the person who actually does logistics and general production and organization. And then there's Cole, who's the writer, and then one person who's a legal person. And yeah, so like I saw these red eyes, which were just amazing. And I was thinking about getting red eyes in future, but yeah, maybe don't want to. But like, just this is such an amazing. And then gave a present. These are all kinds of hand colored in by hand, just a little bit of red to make it a wee bit special. And yeah, also at the end, here's Raymond. Oh, I just realised I didn't take any photos of the last LARP I played. So the last LARP I played, let me get rid of this for just a moment. The last LARP was called Let's Dance, from that Queen song. Let's dance, put on your red shoes and dance the night. I don't know all the lyrics, but you must know some Queen songs like Under Pressure, Pushing Down on Me, and like, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody. And there were a couple of songs that I didn't know. My favourite was I Want to Ride My Bicycle. Bicycle race, bicycle race. So we were a bunch of, we played the roles of some people who were part of a Queen tribute band in high school, and we were actually really successful because there were like 12 of us. Each one of us had a particular song that we were trying to key off of. And these songs try to give inspiration for our characters. So when the song Bicycle Race came on, we were talking about, okay, this is a dying character, but let's celebrate their life. Let's organize a bicycle race next week. And then for Flash, like we were like, yes, this is such a wonderful person. They are the savior of the universe. Let's try to be more like Jamie. And then my song came up. Mine was basically the last song. And it was something that I've never heard before. I think it's called Princes of the Universe. And up until that moment, my character had developed, had this friendship, and it's like, hey, let's have a go. Let's form our, I love you in a romantic way. Let's get together. And the other character had said, yeah, let's get together. Let's go. And I will pack in my job. And they want to have an adventure. Let's go to Rwanda with Jamie, who was like this amazing character. Let's go and help the world. And then I was told that they wanted to go to Rwanda on their own, and my song came up. I was like, okay, I've got your world in my hands. That's a really creepy line, isn't it? I've got your world in my hands. And I could have gone two ways. I could have been like, a sensible person like I am in real life. Like, okay, let's actually try to work out what we need. Let's try to be reasonable about this situation. But of course, it's a LARP. You want drama. So I made my character the most despicable, vile person that I could play. And such a horrible person. I felt really icky doing it. And very, oh, I was like, no, how dare you? You belong to me. I've got your world in my hands. And we are the princes of the universe. We should be together. And then I kind of threw everything down. I was like, fuck this, and then stormed off. And then, but yeah, then it was kind of wrapped up. There wasn't much of a neat little bow at the end. My character was such a vile piece of work. But it was fairly light-hearted. It wasn't super serious. Yes, there were romantic interests, and there was in the story someone was dying, and it was about friends dying, but it wasn't super like some games are designed to really give you a sense of emotion that the characters are feeling, to have that sense of bleed, like the inside, where there is you're meant to have that sense of loss of agency, of I am a I am incarcerated, what can I do? And that's a really powerful thing. I've played games where I really feel a harsh sense of bereavement, of my gosh, these people are being really horrible to me. But in this game, there was a lot of timeouts, and it was more of a comedy, kind of a joyful thing. Anyway, after that, we had some time to chat. I think like 3 hours were scheduled. 2 hours were scheduled until the official end, then 1 more hour that we had to be out of the building at. This is Raymond, lives in Glasgow. Check out their eyebrow, that's an impressive eyebrow. Saying goodbye to people. There's Nina and beautiful beings with wonderful. Oh, I think that's back to the start. It was affirming. I was sad to leave. I would love to continue some of these relationships. I would love to. I mean, hopefully, I will see Laura relatively soon, and we can maybe continue working on our little game that we're co-designing. Going to make it in time for Dragon Meet. That's what I'm going to say. It'll be a busy bargain bag. It might not be perfect, but it will be done. There are some people here that I met for the first time, and I hope to see again. There are some people that I hope to see again, maybe in the distant future in a LARP. But yes, there was food. Yes, there was, a building with space. And, the space is so often taken for granted. The fact that some people were able to go down and get drinks. The fact that, like the space was just such a wonderful space. And, the organizers, the other volunteers, the people running the LARPs. It is all about the people running the LARPs, the organizing, the people you make friends with, the people you play with, the people that played my LARP, and the friendships. It continues before and after, and seeing Tiz, and I'll see Tiz again on Tuesday, tomorrow. You might see Tiz on this stream, maybe with Rose from Inside the Box. We're going to discuss Seize the Power. It's inspiring, it's joyful, the smoke, it's connecting, it's brilliant, and yeah, I was really happy to hear. So, for the record, Laura and Mo are no longer running the LARP, which is kind of sad. but I'm happy that it will continue. The people who are now responsible for it, I asked Cole if anything will change, and he said no, we'll keep everything basically the same. We'll change very, very small things. The volunteers as they are, we'll try to keep the same ethos. It will, if you don't have money, if you are able to get to London, but you don't have money to attend, you can help as a volunteer, and you do get a free ticket in exchange for labour, which is amazing. I think that I love it when conventions do this. UK Games Expo does a brilliant job. I mean, they give you accommodation and food and time to have your own fun in exchange for a lot of hours of help. I mean, at UK Games Expo, you have to help like a good half of each day. At the Smoke, it's very different. If you want to play LARPs, if you're willing to just play any LARP that is short of players, of course, like if this is a super serious thing, this is potentially triggering, then you get the option to not play that. But if you're just like, yeah, I'm happy to play something about wizards or something about zombies or something about um, people in romantic relationships or something potentially about dancing or something in football, if you're open to that, if you're open to different things, then you could go along and play 4 different LARPs and just maybe like half an hour here or there and like whenever be it is kind of like your own call. So you aren't normally needed, but it's like a small room and it's like, okay, volunteers, we need people to bring stuff up, or hey, we need people to tidy up at this point. And there are some senior volunteers who, but I would encourage anyone who's into LARP or is interested in trying out LARP to go along. And if you're interested in helping out and you don't have the budget to go along as an attendee, I would encourage you to go to ask about volunteering. And as long as you're a good person, as long as you're there for the right reasons, which is frankly to make connections, to have a good time, then great. I mean, it's not the place for an ego. I mean, like, yes, we are individuals. We can be proud of what we've done. And we want to. If you've written something, if you've made a game, then sure, there is a board games table, but it's not a place for you to say, "Oh, this is my thing." It's like the place to say, "Hey, in the evening, if I've got like a game that's like 10 minutes long, would you be happy to play that?" And like 10 minutes, it's not a big imposition. Do you know what I mean? And I was doing that, like, but have been at the LARP every year. But even so, I it's not about you coming to promote your stuff. It's not about you coming to promote you. But like, yes, we love people, and I am excited to hear about your stuff. But we're there to share this moment, to make stories together, to make connections, to build relationships, friendships, creative endeavors, creative partners. Maybe you will be inspired to write your own thing because there is the space for you to write your own thing. Maybe you come one year and then you play for LARPs and you're like, my gosh, maybe I could do it. And there was the mentorship program, which was bleeping amazing. And Lolvi and Chloe and Mike and Alex, I love you so much. Thank you for allowing me to do it. And like, I feel honored that I was incredibly last minute with all of my stuff, and they still had faith in me, and I managed to do it. And I'm getting emotional because it was bleeping amazing. It was bloody amazing. And so, at this point, let me ask question of the day. Question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. So my question of the day is: what's a signal that you would like people to all kind of obey in real life? And one really useful signal is when you lift up your arm like this, so you just put your fist in the air. What this means, or you can also do this, like just hand in the air straight up. What this means is someone has something really important to say. So if you really need people to be quiet, do this. Then everyone will be quiet, and then you say, everyone, someone is missing A key card. Does anyone have a key card? And then the one person who had a key card has, yeah, I've got the key card. Here it is, and it's amazing. Then you say, okay, everyone, just to let you know, someone here has a hotel reservation at a hotel with a bar. Rather than standing out here talking, we could go to the bar. So if people want to go to the bar, we could all walk together. And then that's a really nice way to kind of get bits of attention if you really have. And it's not something that there, it's kind of like yelling fire in a crowded building, or like you, there's some things you just don't shout. And similarly, this would be a big responsibility, but I think it's such a good thing to get everyone to be quiet. Also, I really love silent clapping. So rather than everyone doing this, silent clapping. So at this point, over to you. What are you up to? You can share a button if you want to. I am going to. So I'm just snuggling here in my Christmas jumper. I'm going to have a bits of food. I'm going to have a bit of breakfast. To, yeah, bum around on the internet for a wee bit. Then I've got an appointment, I think at 2 o'clock. I'm actually going to check that just now. Yes, oh, 1 o'clock. Okay, just as well I checked. So I guess in an hour and a half I need to be out of here. So like, yeah, it doesn't leave me loads of time. An hour for eating, half an hour to really scrub myself, and then yeah, I'll get out. In the evening, I don't have any plans. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to maybe walk around. I'm maybe going to play a solo game. I don't know. Oh, darn. I think I've got to do some posting. Yeah, I really need to do some posting. Oh my gosh. But I'm so exhausted. Um, yeah. Hopefully, yeah, I'll try and do as much posting as I can. And then in the evening, I'll either just kind of read, yeah, maybe read some comics, go through some things, and maybe work out some stuff to give away, do some life admin, maybe throw away some stuff, and maybe tidy up some stuff, maybe put my clothes actually into the cupboard because my clothes are still either in boxes or in big piles. Like my clean clothes are either in boxes or in piles. My dirty clothes are in the hamper, and some of my clean clothes. Anyway, it's I'm slightly ashamed by it. But what are you up to? Let me know. Meanwhile, recap and wrap up before we finish up. So yeah, the smoke was blimmin' brilliant. I recommend it. Check it out. Oh, I should have probably sent you all a link to the smoke. And so I'm going to send a link. And so yes, it is great for connecting with people, learning LARPs, learning what LARP is. Um, yeah, making stories together. Brilliant. I heartily recommend it. If you're able to get to London and you have some interest in LARPs, and then you probably want to go. And if you want to go, then you probably can go if you can get to London. So if you can get to London and like it's a Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday. I understand, like in the job that I used to do back in the day when I was working retail and I had to work every weekend, that was really problematic. It is worth taking a holiday off, like 2 days holiday, Saturday and Sunday. Take those days off. It's really worth it. I promise. Um, like if you have to then work on Monday at 9 or like even earlier, it will be a struggle. I'm not going to lie. And Friday, if you can take the Friday evening off, that will be ideal. If you're based in London and like go to it, there's almost no excuse. And yeah, the smoke, it like if you've never played a LARP, if you're just curious, come and check it out next year. Hello, Kel. It is lovely to see you. Kel says, I'm at home with COVID. I'm so sorry. Lots of love. I'm working through my pile of opportunity today. I love that thing. And I like pile of potential because that keeps the pile of potential. It's got like the alliteration going on, but it's got the positive spin. What game are you going to play? Do you have energy to actually play a game? I've got a few games that I've got to play. I might play MD Roland Wright for Dice Hospital. Um, but yeah, I'll see how that goes. What are you playing, Kel? I hope that you get well soon. Lots of love. Hope that ah very very early next month. End of this month, I still have to do lots of postage. I am going to start the paid plan on my shop because I'm going to start taking this more seriously. I'm going to pay like 120 a year, which means that then I can have 50 things in my shop, which will probably mean that I start saying, hey, here's some original artwork. And if you want this original artwork, you get to see pictures before you buy it. It's not just a case of me having to sell it through some other store means, but like it's be like, hey, if you want custom cards, then you can see some of the things that you could get, or I can color in something for you, but there's no promise of quality. Um, Favelas is the next thing that Kelly is up to. I hope you enjoyed that loads. I've not played that myself. That sounds. I heard really good things. Oh yeah, my links: Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. I'm Stuff by Bez. I'm most Facebook. You can follow my Facebook, personal Facebook if you want. Stuffbybez.com/Discord if you want to find out what I'm generally up to. Stuffbybez.com/streams, which will let you know that tomorrow I am with Rose Atkinson and also Tis Creel because we are doing a Seize the Power meeting. And so we are going to be hanging out all day, playing Seize the Power, discussing how to improve Seize the Power, and I'm going to try and convince Inside the Box of making some changes that I like. And his is like less bothered by the mechanics, I think. But I think Tis has like really strong aspirations for the educational components, and I think it hopefully like once all said and done, like I'll be doing more like the mechanics rules, like following the development. Tis is more about the concept and the high level stuff and like what it should feel like and what educational value it should have. And I'm really excited for that. So I'll tell you what I can on Wednesday, where Jess Medringham and I are going to talk and have a bit of a catch up. Then, oh, Thursday, Naomi Robinson and I will discuss art. I'm really excited. This is someone that I met um, on Board Game Geek's Women's History Month. Then Friday I'm off to playtest, and Saturday and Sunday I don't have anything specific planned. I might do a wee bit of a playthrough. Yeah, if you have a, would you like to see me doing a solo playthrough of Dice Hospital or Dice Theme Park or of the Rolling Rights? I mean, I should probably put up a list of all my games somewhere sometime, but I'm not organised enough. Anyway, I'll do a Twitter poll or something and ask people what they would prefer. But for now, share, spread the word. It's lovely to have you join in. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. And for now, the only thing left to say is bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, bye, everyone. Bye, bye.